All right, and now I let it go for 5 more hours, right?
No, that's just pictures of chairs. Hey everybody, welcome to a special edition X's for Show. Some stuff happened today. We got to talk about it. I am
the X's for Show chair edition.
Oh, chair edition, absolutely. We're the chairman. Nico Action, NICO.
TK Accidental.
And that makes me KEVO. Really, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment so we know what you want us to cover in the future. This came out of nowhere, and we had to talk about the chairs, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. This is so fucking funny because one of the things that had me really entertained by this was how many people reacted like, are you really going to ask us to just look at chairs for several hours? And the truth is, you did it. So,
I was going to say, that's the thing. That is absolutely the thing. Everybody did it.
And I'm like fine with it. I was kind of, because like it was like really easy to put on in the background. I had some projects to do at work. I had some like major stuff to get out the door. I ran out at one point because it's I have a conspiracy theory about why this happened today.
Put a pin in that because I do want to talk about that.
But I ran out to the shop today, but I had it on in the background.
That is kind of another important point. Like, we did this as a family. God bless you, KEVO. You were on top of it. For a big chunk of it, I was on a run. And I was just like checking my watch, getting updates from KEVO. I'm the biggest hater when it comes to this. I think I hated this way more than I think I hated this, and YouTube did not. But I hated this a lot less than I could have because KEVO did all the hard work, and so like I will say that I get why people hated this, and I'm not going to say that there was no reason to. And before Nico says that he loved it too much, and as Nico has already pointed out, this was a group effort, our enjoyment of all this and our perception of all this. And I can understand how, because there were moments, but by the time I got home and we were still only like 13 people in, the rest of the day got a little annoying.
You know, it's funny because like we've been talking about on like Drag Race, how it gets really shitty when it's like too basic a challenge too repetitively for too long. But like this didn't bother me. And like the reason I was fine with this was because, and Tori put it really brilliantly in the comments. Hey, everybody, Pete, brilliant Tori Sheehan. She was like, this is great because every 10 to 12 minutes, there's another one, which gives every outlet 10 to 12 minutes to do a quick tweet with all the facts that you need to know everything about the people. And
that was insanely optimistic.
It's what happened. There was live tweeting from tons of outlets. And what I loved was all of the live tweeting from the outlets was, oh, look at us, we're in the know. And because don't get me wrong, I hear that there were people like, well, this was stupid, but it is officially the most trending thing. It is officially the biggest thing that's happened. So people can be as annoyed by it as they want, but they definitely gave it everything it wanted.
Yeah, well, Marvel was very smart the way they did it. Did people live tweet? Did organizations live tweet it? Yes, but the Tory's perception of like, oh, they can tweet it and give information. No, like people did, Cinemaverse or whatever did garbage tweets every time.
Well, no, Tori's saying she literally watched someone do it that way from work. Like,
I love if someone did it that way, but a lot of people did not. There was a lot of garbage retweeting and just like, oh, look, it's Kelsey Grammer and here's a picture of Beast. Like, I would have loved like a really good solid lineup every time one of these happened. And I'm not saying that didn't happen. I'm saying like Screen Rant wasn't doing it that way. Pop Crave wasn't doing it that way. They were just retweeting, and that's also fine and brilliant for Marvel. That's just good attention on their product for Marvel. Marvel doesn't care how quality the tweets are. Just that people are talking about it makes total sense. Everybody get your bag. But that is what I got annoyed by, was that like I didn't see anything of quality coming out of it from like organizations that I particularly want to see tweeting about it. And then I just saw the same stupid jokes over and over again from people. And like the first time you saw somebody be like, oh, oh God, what's her name? Rachel McAdams is returning as Regina George. Ha ha, that's so funny.
Well, you guys heard it here. It sucked. Have a great night.
Yeah.
Bye.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my god. What an opener.
Yeah, no, man, I'm gonna be a hater on this one because
Then I want to have Kevin cut in because I don't want people to it out.
Delightful. Thank you. Yeah, you've had enough time. Anyway, this was a lot of fun. You're welcome. I did put a lot of work into this, and I did enjoy it. This meant a lot to me. I thought it was really fun. My only real complaint, I think, was I felt it was a little bit too quiet. I would have liked a little bit more ambient noise. We kept noticing that there were like noises every now and then. There was one time I joked that I was like, either an announcement is coming or there's a truck backing up. So I wonder if there's like, if it's like a thing where you're supposed to analyze. I'm not going to be doing that. I don't care for that. People who do care for that, good for you, and I will read your review of it. But I'm not going to be analyzing it because, yeah, there's things about this that I don't think were great or were perfect. But I thought it was fun. It was really cool, the parts where they did music cues to introduce the characters, because I'm a person who loves the music cues. Literally, as soon as I heard the notes for the Ant-Man theme, because I've been a huge Christoph Beck fan since I was 14 years old, I immediately knew. And then the fact that they did the tiny chair, that was so funny. I really would have liked more from this, I guess. And it's so funny, at the very beginning, it was listed as just announcement. So we didn't know what we were getting. Then partway through, somebody updated it to Doomsday cast announce. So kind of caught it there, folks, but I think it's probably been updated better since then. But so once we understood what we were getting, but there was that moment where we were like, oh, this could be anything. But it was really exciting. It was really fun watching it with you.
And, one of the things that I think is pretty significant about this is the thing I was mentioning earlier to everybody when I was talking about how I kind of have a conspiracy theory about why this happened today. In the comic world, today represented a big event. Perhaps the largest Batman comic of all time, Hush, received its first ever sequel from its original creators. And so Hush 2 is like the most pre-ordered comic of the last, I think, like 10 years or something. Something actually beat Absolute Batman somehow. So definitely check out our coverage of that in the next couple of days. Really excited about that. But so I kind of think that because they expected so many media news outlets to devote all of their time to Hush throughout the day, they figured out a way to run something all day long. So DC's stories on Hush never got run because there was constantly more Marvel news the entire publishing day.
And frankly, that makes perfect sense to me because this was niche. The appeal of the Avengers Doomsday cast is obviously big, but once you realize that it's just chair reveals, this was a little bit niche. This was like a fandom thing that you do, and typically that's sort of the engagement that you get. A comics thing like Hush is going to go in the reverse direction. It's going to start niche and maybe expand to a wider audience that discovers that this is a big day for comics and for Batman comics in particular. But again, cycle stolen. Not much to be said.
And so that's why we ultimately didn't do our Batman Hush 2 coverage tonight, because this is a bigger story. This is more important. This is a bigger reaction. It's still going to be Batman 158's week tomorrow, but it's not going to be the announcement's news cycle tomorrow. Even if it's the wake of it, we might have more. I actually am kind of convinced this was 27. The rumor is that like 56 people are in this movie. I think there's going to be another one
Of these drops, yeah, I could see that.
I think there's going to be another identical one, and it's going to be 27 other names. Because that's
I mean, that's insanity, but I don't necessarily think you are incorrect. And, part of the thing that makes this so significant to the news cycle even is this guy right here sitting here. And all of the amount of energy and the amount of himself that he has been investing into recommitting to this project. Seeing him show up as bizarre, it was exciting. It was definitely new, and it was definitely something to make up for the flying car. So, I don't know.
Man, that's so much spray tan under that mask. So, I don't want to.
That's not a good image.
I don't want to waste too much time because we definitely we have a whole lot of people to get through. So the announcement method is some good, some bad, right? But the people itself, the people it announced themselves, this is quite a who's who, what's what. I am really fascinated by the people that are here, the choices that were made. There are people who appeared in as many as 10 projects prior to this, and there are people that appeared in as few as one project before this. There are 2 people who have played 2 distinct characters, and it's just a really fascinating list, and I'm really excited to get into one of our traditions of tier ranking them. We've given our opinions on a lot of these people before as characters, so I think what we're really here to tier rank is their place in this announcement, what we feel about them being in an upcoming project. I'm really excited. Does anybody have anything else they want to say before we get into some tier making?
No,
Sweet.
you're in?
I'm ready. Let's go. No. I've put together a little bit of history on each one of these characters just to kind of keep a little bit of track of who they are, what they've been in. Thor is actually like the earliest appearing character of the MCU, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But Thor actually appears in 9 projects. 2011's Thor, 2012's The Avengers, 2013's The Dark World, 2015 Age of Ultron, 2016 Doctor Strange, 2017 Ragnarok, 2018 Infinity War, 2019 Endgame, and 2022's Love and Thunder. So Thor Odinson, played by Chris Hemsworth, the first reveal. I gotta be honest, he's the only actual The Avengers Avenger here. I'm giving him an S.
Wow, I thought I was being so edgy with my B.
Being like positive or negative?
Negative. I thought I was like that's gonna be seen as kind of negative, and that's like one of my higher grades for this whole bunch. Yeah, I mean, for me, Thor is the
S, because I think it's really cool that somebody from Avengers is going to appear in the movie.
I misheard you. I thought you said F.
Oh no, I'm just excited that somebody from Avengers.
Yeah.
There's only one person from Avengers proper that's going to be an Avenger in this.
Yeah, somebody from Avengers who was an Avenger, because of course we've got Hiddleston, but he was Loki.
It's actually a different character though altogether. This is Loki of the Time Heist, and so it's not the Loki that.
Well, as far as we know, yeah,
there's even that aspect of it. Sure. This is a B for me. And to me, it's kind of the standard setter. As Nico put, there should be an Avenger there, but I'm not crazy excited about Hemsworth or Thor. I've liked all the Thor stuff, but now I've maybe seen him more than I care to. A huge reveal to me, if you're gonna have an Avenger, would have been like Scarlett Johansson. That would have been really cool. That probably would have gotten a big one for me. I'm not upset that he's there, but I'm not crazy excited.
And I think that's a really good way of putting it. I think it's nice. I think it's neat. I couldn't help noting exactly. Mark Ruffalo isn't a chair, so that's really interesting. And again, we're not exactly sure what capacity everyone's going to end up appearing in this movie. What?
Mark Ruffalo's not a chair, and my dad is not a phone.
Lonely Island, right. Yeah, I guess I'll also go with B, because I want to make sure that there's a nice even spread.
So I do want to say that this starts the run of one and dones who get to be in a to an ooh. Vanessa Kirby being the second person revealed, also often being the second person mentioned in the Fantastic Four. She's only going to have first steps under her belt and the invisible belt that it is. This was not my favorite announcement. I'm really frustrated by what this set off in these announcements. This is like a B, but it has nothing to do with Vanessa Kirby. It has to do with, I feel kind of like Fantastic Four was kind of spoiled for me now, kind of, sort of. So this is a B. Vanessa Kirby gets an S from me for feeling positive on another strong interpretation of one of the strongest women in comics, but I'm not excited about already knowing that it seems like she will survive, or we get another version of her anyway, so what did it matter?
Yeah, I gave her an A because I like her, and I will be curious to see what this means. This has some further context that we'll get to in a bit from another casting announcement. But Nico, I agree. I mean, like, do I imagine that they all survive? Sure, but also they don't have to. Like, this is a weird, already they're in a weird universe. Like, they're not in the main Marvel universe. And I don't know that this is going to be the Fantastic Four that survives after Secret War. And so if I don't know that, maybe they don't survive to Secret War. Maybe the whole point of this is that they, in their universe, discover the multiverse and do something to allow it to continue to exist, and they all die. Because the first Doctor Doom, or the first Mr. Fantastic that we ever got, who was the person that everybody said should be Mr. Fantastic, and that up until the very moment of his death, I was certain was Mr. Fantastic from here on out, dies. And if John Krasinski had been announced in another movie after Scarlet Witch, that death would have meant nothing. You know, that that would have been completely unimpressive. Even if it was a different version, it just, I don't know. It's a weird thing. So I really agree with what you're saying insofar as, like, you don't need to give it all away, babies. Like, it's very easy to imagine how she's going to be in every movie going forward for the next 10 years. That's fine. I can do that work on my own. You could really keep the suspense going, and maybe even pay it off if you didn't say she was going to show up and said, not everybody survives all this. Not everybody is going to make it out of the original multiverse to go on to the next incarnation.
So I really love your pitch, but I feel like your pitch exemplifies part of the problem that we run into with this experiment, of the information release, and the conundrum we find ourselves in. And what better character to leave on screen for us to discuss the conversation than a woman, because women deserve to lead the conversation. There's so many great ideas, but what will come out is not necessarily any of those great ideas, and that's part of the problem. One of the things that we were throwing around is the fact that there are still 2 release dates on the schedule for 2026 in February and in November on either side of Doomsday that are unaccounted for, that there theoretically should still be something. With how crazy things are, this movie could still get pushed back for other movies to take earlier slots. Who knows what might happen, but we were talking about, what if this is all a cast for a secret movie, and that's why it's just announcement? We'd been hoping that there might be a really cool secret project. That's not what they announced. They could still announce it. They probably won't. There's so many things that they could do that I don't know that they will. And, it's part of why I don't want them to push stuff back, why I want the Multiverse Saga to be over in 2027 and us to be good and moving forward, is because I want to move forward. We're sitting in this limbo of speculating on stuff like that. And I just want us to move into the next thing. I'm going to give her an A because I love Vanessa Kirby in the Fast and Furious franchise. But, still very, very nervous. Speaking of nervous...
Well, I just really hope that ultimately all of this doesn't embarrass me in front of Vanessa Kirby. So.
Yes, thank you. Every time I see her name. And she kind of looks like she could play Vanessa.
She kind of looks like you could embarrass someone in front of her.
She really has that country club vibe. And of course, that means her only film is Fantastic Four First Steps 2025. God, I would love it if that secret movie is a second Fantastic Four movie filmed at the same time. Yeah. So that's it's like a secret sequel.
Yeah, I love that.
All right, so we watched this.
You're a jerk. You're getting a D.
We've now seen this movie. This 3 episodes of the show. Fine. I don't know. Okay, sure. Anthony Mackie doesn't need a break. In where I'm going, Anthony Mackie, whatever he's saying, I don't know. Everybody's. As Our Lady Peace once said, big green monkey, everyone's a junkie. And so whatever you are hooked on, and in Anthony Mackie's case, it seems to be saying controversial things that he seems to mean well, I guess. Sure. Fine. But the bigger problem is this Captain America is not working. Because what they did was they never really gave him Sam Wilson. They took what is Steve Rogers' other eras, and they gave some of it to Sebastian Stan for Bucky, who was doing one of my favorite eras of Cap. I can't even begin to talk about it. And then some of it went here. End of the day, the costume's great, the performance is great, but this is going to get a C from me because I don't know that there's more for this character to give. They've forced him, unfortunately, for the analogy I'm going to make, into the Nick Fury role, and I don't think it becomes him.
Yeah, D, because I'm mad at Anthony Mackie for being a jerk and saying weird stuff. I agree with everything you're saying. A lot of it is not his fault, but it does. It becomes a problem here. If you're going to make Cap a black man and commit to that, commit to it. The comics go in a lot of different directions. I mean, the comics, maybe you can make the same critique about, because as you pointed out, like, there's a lot of Bucky being Captain America too, and it leads to some really interesting stuff. It just, I don't know. If I said that Chris Hemsworth as kind of an Avenger set the standard with that B, all of the little things here bring this down to a C, and then Anthony Mackie's gross comments bring this down to a D for me. I'm just not excited.
I don't want to go so far as D. I want to root for him. I want to root for stuff that he does. Didn't he buy that gay bar or something? Like, he's such a weirdo.
You're thinking of Trixie Mattel.
I think I'm thinking of both is what's weird. He always seems like he's drunk and a little bit flirting with Tom Holland.
I'm so sorry. No, we're talking about Sam Wilson, not Arnie Roth.
Oh my God. Okay. I didn't get that for a second. Very nuanced joke, although that guy comes up a lot lately. No, I want to give him like a C. I really hear what you're saying, Nico, about this iteration of Sam. And I think part of what we are running into, which I don't know if it's a conundrum or if it's just what's happening, I think this Sam is just also very informed by Anthony Mackie and not necessarily excessively the comics. So now we are running into adaptation characters because he's been playing this character for 11 years now. since 2014. Why shouldn't he inform the character the way that we are evolving this universe? But even so, let's see.
Kevo, thank you so much. I want to say that is because I'm going to do this for everybody. Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson appears in Captain America: The Winter Soldier from 2014, Age of Ultron from 2015, Ant-Man also from 2015, Civil War in 2016, the duo of Infinity War and Endgame in 2018 and 2019. He is our first entry into the TV universe that I love so very much with Falcon and Winter Soldier from 2021. And then he appeared in Captain America: Average New World, but it turns out I would love Harrison Ford on Tren from 2025. That brings us then, man, what a clunk. That brings us. I agree. No, I'm not. I'm at myself.
Well, you're rude.
That brings us to, in a world where, like, if what we're saying is Chris Evans is a really good burger and Robert Downey Jr. is a really good steak, this man is the honey baked ham of the Marvel universe, and I really feel like I said that as sexually as I meant it. Sebastian Stan plays Bucky Barnes. I'm sorry, James Buchanan. That's the stupidest thing. Winter Soldier. He has appeared in 10 projects, which is absolutely every 2007 bisexual fangirl's dream. He appeared in 2011's First Avenger, 2014's Winter Soldier, 2015's Ant-Man. So many of these are for like 7 seconds. Civil War in 2016, Black Panther in 2018, Infinity War in 2018, Endgame in 2019, Falcon and Winter Soldier in, of course, 2021, as mentioned. Captain America, Brave New World 2025. He is my second favorite thing about that movie. To give you all a hint about my favorite thing, you should damn the man and save the empire. Well, and then he'll appear in 2025's Thunderbolts.
And that's the thing about all those minor appearances, and it's the same thing with Anthony Mackie, and it's the same thing with Chris Hemsworth and a lot of these performers now, where he's been playing this guy for 14 years. So yeah, a little bit here, a little bit there, he seems to really enjoy it.
Yeah, Honey Baked Ham gets an A.
I gave it a C. I've never liked how they use Bucky.
That is yes.
I don't know. I feel bad. So the C is like, because I've so disliked how they use Bucky, it would be a D, but I really think Sebastian Stan loves this role, and I think there's a ton of potential, and I think I give this a C because I'm sort of hoping these next 2 movies are gonna be S. Like, I'm gonna love him in Thunderbolts and in Doomsday, and if we get him anywhere else, maybe in between there, because I think he really likes doing this. I think he really likes the Marvel universe. I think he's kind of the guys that show up and do interviews. To me, he's really one of the dark horses. He seems really nice. I mean, he's very physically fit, but he does not appear to be on the Chris diet, which I really appreciate, because I can't afford the coaches or the steroids to be on the Chris diet. So like, a guy who just looks good is aspirational to me. He seems really great. I don't put any of it on him except for maybe like the first movie, in terms of like not thinking he's a great actor. I think in general he's been really fun. I don't know what Marvel thinks they have in him or what they're doing with him or anything. So this is like the most hopeful C I've ever given anybody.
I'm gonna be a little bit thoughty and upgrade to B because he is so handsome. I'm not gonna go any higher because he seems like he might just a little bit be an Armie Hammer weirdo. I'm not sure. And I really do agree with what you're saying, where he's not always used excessively well. Like the use of him in Captain America: Brave New World, I fear might immediately be contradicted by Thunderbolts, might be immediately contradicted by the very next thing. And that's fine. That's not the end of the world. But
we call that a Daredevil on She-Hulk.
Yeah, you know, and sometimes it's
Pearl
fine,
Wilson
and
and Nightcrawler.
sometimes when you have a little bit too many of these appearances, it's too much. So yeah.
I will say he has been around longer and in the public more. I don't think he's going to Army Hammer us. I think whatever weird stuff is spoken for. I don't think he tells girls he wants to eat them.
He just wants melons rubbed on his butt. It's just something harmless.
Yeah, exactly.
And his shoes, and that's enough said.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, man.
This is I genuinely feel like this is Sophia's choice because it's
Sophia Petrillo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's Sophia's choice because
picture it. Wakanda 2025.
Exactly. Yes, you have to pick between two women that you wanted to love, one that you do and one that you don't, and they can't exist without each other. It is really tough. It is a hardy dance. Yeah, thank you. Good point, because she actually has so few appearances. Letitia Wright as Shuri, the Black Panther, appears in 4 films. Black Panther in 2018, Avengers Infinity War in 2018, Avengers Endgame in 2019, and Black Panther Wakanda, This Movie Goes On Forever in 2022. And those are her only 4 appearances.
Wakanda Forever, the miniseries.
Oh yeah, no, seriously, Wakanda Forever, the life
and ever.
I love Shuri in the comics. I love Shuri in the movies. Letitia Wright says some Nicki Minaj thinks that COVID vaccines made her cousin impotent stuff, which, by the way, just way to be like, yo, my cousin's impotent right on the
brand stick doesn't work.
It really, it gives. This sucks because I love Shuri, but I can't love this. We told Jonah we loved him for the rest of our lives with the limited edition Shuri Black Panther beads. That was how we said you are ours. And so, like, this is tough, but I got to give her a C. This hurts.
Yeah, I think it's C for me too. It sucks. It is because I can't. If I'm shitting on Anthony Mackie for saying stuff I really don't like, and I think you have to know better about masculinity. But I actually legitimately don't think he meant it as bad as it came off. I'm going to be a harsh grader, and I'm going to say that if you get the privilege of being famous and getting a platform, you just should know better. Stuff about masculinity is you should know better and you should do better. But I get where you're coming from. I can understand it. I say weird shit to my therapist about masculinity all the time. I don't say weird shit to my therapist about vaccines because I just trust doctors.
Andrew says weird shit about masculine guys in the chat all the time.
It's true. I'm gonna leave Andrew. It's a great most recent comment, but I will gonna leave that in the chat. But I like where your head's at, buddy. But yeah, I say lots of weird shit to my therapist, but I don't say shit about vaccines because I just trust my doctors. I just know that they work. I would never do that. That's public health shit. And that's so not in the, Shuri would never do that. Don't be an asshole. Harry Potter would never not like trans people, J.K. Rowling. Ender would never not like gay people, Orson Scott Card. What the is wrong with you people? Anyway, I love Shuri. I think she's such a cool character. But even then, like, my other thing is introducing T'Challa Jr. And knowing that we still haven't done the X-Men yet, and that I'm one of those people that thinks that Storm and T'Challa are OTP, and like that is, you should hope for the goddess and the king taking over the, like, I want Imperial 2, where the Wakandan Empire ruled by T'Challa and Storm takes over the galaxy. That's what I want. I mean, those two to me, that's like the height of royalty. And I think everybody at Marvel kind of knows that. And so the minute they introduced that little boy, and we knew that Storm is probably going to skew a little bit younger because, as I was talking about before, the X-Men kind of need to be a 20-year franchise. So like by the time we get to that boy being in his teens, Storm that we get.
And on that subject, Captain America just says in Brave New World, I've been working with Joaquin for 3 years. 3 years already. So just
Right.
to back
Exactly.
it up,
So
it's
like
gonna come so much faster than we even think.
Yeah, I really that little boy, I really do think will plausibly be a teenager.
We'll be 18 so soon.
Exactly. Yep. And Storm will be 18, and him being T'Challa, i.e. from the comic books, basically, to marry Storm, that's all so on the table. Yeah. It should be, because the iconicness and the royalty and all the iconography, so good. But then what does that mean for Shuri the Black Panther? And then what does that mean for this? I have no idea. And I just wish she could be Shuri, and that could be something on its own, so that this announcement had its own kind of power, because we're going to get to another Black Panther character in just a bit, who I'm just like, yeah, this guy, doesn't matter that he's not Black Panther, he fucks all on his own. So anyway, yeah, what a long-winded way of saying C.
So yes, I'm still with you. Good Lord. I am all about forgiveness and letting people learn not to put their foot in their mouth. And 2020 was a crazy time, and she really hasn't done anything like that since. So I would like to hope that lessons can be learned.
I love where your head is at.
It's tough.
No, I think I like that attitude. Right? I think you should have that attitude. I'm being a dick.
No, you're not being a dick, and I feel like at the heart of it, I feel like more of us need to remember that even with celebrity, there are certain responsibilities, but none of us who are in the arts are also scientists. Few of us are Mayim Bialik. So, we all just need to remember to stay in our own lanes, and our lanes is dumb, fruity stuff like this, where we rank each other. That's what the SAG Awards are, literally. So, what?
Or Winnie Cooper.
Oh, yeah, Winnie Cooper, that's right. She's a genius, too. Yeah, I forgot.
She does the math.
Yeah, he froze, but Winnie Cooper.
Mayim Bialik has to be disqualified because she's a Zionist, but yeah.
I mean,
so we're gonna go with C for an optimistic, hopeful future.
I feel like I just really want to be clear that I don't know if she's a Zionist. I think it's more that she don't know about the future. That's anybody's guess.
In her opinionation, the sun is surely going to shine on the state
of Israel.
Stats
in here.
Stats on Phoebe Buffay's husband.
Ant-Man 2015, Civil War 2016, Ant-Man and the Wasp 2018, Endgame 2019, Quantumania 2023. That is 5 films. This man is responsible for releasing a film so bad it was the thing that was worse than Jonathan Majors committing a violent act against a woman. I want to be really clear with you. While for me, the moral problem is that Jonathan Majors committed, according to text messages he sent, violent acts against a woman, which just fucking man, woman, non-binary person, just don't lay your hands on another fucking human without consent. Period. That said, the real reason that Disney was willing to let him go was this movie fucking did not bang. It just didn't bang. This movie was not where it was at. This was a faulty detonation. This was one of those, like, this is that video where the guy's like, no, bus, are you kidding me? As he's trying to record the building coming down and the bus parks right in front of him. It was a really good explosion, but you didn't get to see it. So, I'm going to have to give him a B. He's been in enough. Sorry, man.
Yeah, I like Quantumania better than most people. And I saw a lot of potential for Kang from Quantumania. I get the criticism, and I'm not saying I'm right or that my way is the only way, but I saw a real potential for build-up. For we got a B grade, because the whole point of the end of the film is we see there's a ton of Kangs, and we got a B grade Kang in Quantumania, and there are way worse Kangs, and we're gonna get one of those. I thought Quantumania saying like, you haven't even seen a Kang yet, this one was tiny, really gave us a lot of options. I think Paul Rudd is so charming.
Yep.
I think they've never managed to account for what a sleazeball Scott Lang is in the comics. And Paul, they just made some really weird choices. And this is one of the ones where I'm like, yeah, they probably are resetting the universe, because I think we probably need Hank, who is also a sleazeball, but in a different way. And having Hank Pym be Michael Douglas, who is significantly older, so not going to be playing an active superhero, but was great in Quantumania, whatever. This is also B for me. Again, this is another straight white Avenger man who hasn't done anything bad, and even has done plenty of stuff I like. I like Quantumania at about the same level as Thor, Love and Thunder. Love and Thunder. And that's great, but I don't know, just he's had his time, and as Nico kind of pointed out, even at the best of that time, it wasn't able to galvanize. So like, I can't be that excited about this.
You pitching about Skis-Ball Scott Lang made me think about the idea of us getting to see a variant played by Paul Rudd, where he could play that Scott Lang, because Paul Rudd he has the range.
Yeah.
And again, we're pitching, and what'll come out will be necessarily not leaps and bounds.
If they reset the universe, I would take young Hank Pym and have Paul Rudd come in as older Scott Lang, who is a skee-ball.
Can I just tell you, the way to fix it all is just makes I'm not even kidding. Make Hank Pym gay. Don't put him with Jan.
Yeah.
And we'll never have this problem. We'll never even think.
Yeah, I mean, I think you are 100% right about that. I think I like that solution better than not bringing up the fact that Hank's origin involves him being a wife beater. I think if they reset and give us Hank Pym, that is what they will do. He will be straight, and it will never come up. The problem is, you guys had a chance to do that. It was called the Ultimate Universe, and instead you did something so much more fucked up that you've now just can't ever not be a thing. I don't know. Anyway, I that is a phenomenal pitch. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with Paul Rudd or Scott Lang. It's just, we got the incarnation that we got, and as we get to some other characters, a big theme of this is going to be, I'm really ready to move on.
I also feel like Quantumania, and I was saying about when we were watching it, Brave New World, and so many other things like Section 31 are raising so many questions about format and where things should be released and how they should be released.
Yeah.
I wish Quantumania would have gotten a different response if it hadn't been a theatrical film and instead had been a Disney Plus, a special mini-series, any of these things.
Yeah, especially given that Kang did the rest of his stuff.
It's Paul Rudd. You gotta love Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? So, yeah.
Oh no, am I out of sync?
I think it might be Kevo, because I just heard.
Yeah, Kevo, sweetie, refresh real quick. And Kevo, while you refresh, I'm going to introduce our next person. I love and hate this next person. John Walker is like one of my favorite enemies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I found Wyatt Russell's performance beyond lovable. And part of the problem is Wyatt Russell is, because I am the first person to be like, Jamie Lee Curtis, I am not here for your Nepo baby syndrome, but
That's what I came back to.
I just if Nico could just scream Jamie Lee, that might be my ringtone. I might come in and just cut Nico scream, Jamie Lee Curtis.
But I mean, he's a fucking A+ actor. I am entranced by him on
Monarch.
Monarch. I kept going to call him
Monster.
Monstrous.
On Monster Energy Drink the series.org.
Well, Monsters is on its 56th issue, and I just want to say, for like a semi-independent book, that's unprecedented in the modern age. But I give this an A because I think this character has a lot to give us, and I think this actor has depth beyond. Very few people have this level of talent, and ironically, it's also a nepo baby. I equally love. Oh God, why can't I think of his name? Boimler. Oh my God, KEVO, you know me so well. Yes, it was Jack Quaid.
Two guys who are so clear about what they are. Yes. Unlike Go Fuck Yourself, Gracie Abrams, I actually think you are a great musician, but you ruined it all by saying things like, I do music and my dad does movies. There's no way I could have a leg up.
You know who's really cool about it? Giacchino's kid is like, I'd like to meet my father.
Whose kid?
Michael Giacchino, the composer.
Did the music to the Star Wars the best fucking music in the world.
Skeleton Crew, yeah.
Yeah, he did the music to Skeleton Crew. My favorite Star Wars show other than Obi-Wan. The best music on any Star Wars show, and it was Michael Giacchino's kid.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I feel like we talked about this at some point.
And he is so openly grateful to his family.
That's also like that credit for that parent. That's that. Sure, like I don't care if you work in the industry that your parent does and you get a leg up. You know, if Christoph Beck's kid does the music for the Buffy relaunch, that's not that like that's amazing. I would love that, but that's not like, oh, I'm John Williams' kid and I'm starring in the next Star Wars movie.
If Christoph Beck and Beck did the music to the remake, it'd be
Christoph / Beck.
I'm so here for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Wyatt Russell's very cool about who his dad is. And again, I'm fine with it. Like it's everything runs on nepotism. It's fine. You own up to it and say, I'm so insanely lucky. Everybody knows how hard you work, or they don't care. So, but he's really cool. It's so weird. I think I really hated him and this character and life when I saw Falcon Winter Soldier the series, and then I watched Monarch and I was like, I love him, I love this character, I love life, and I'm so excited. Something about discovering another side to him and seeing how stand-up of a guy he is and how much I don't know, something about being willing to play Kurt Russell, like to play your dad's younger self. Everything about him just really impressed me and made me smile. And he has the world's most fucking punchable face as U.S. agent,
but sex punchable, like in the police.
He is very handsome. The Monarch character, very sex punchable.
I think he's flexible.
This guy is so unfuckable to me. They've done such an amazing job of not letting U.S. Agent be sexy at all.
I'm gonna lock him in a basement and give him an axe, if you know what I mean.
Okay, Sondheim, let's calm down here.
Oh no, full Fisk.
Oh yeah, there you go. I forgot about that. That was last night. Jesus Christ. The way that the helmet makes him look uglier and accentuates his nose, like they really did a good job. I think he is such a punchable face. He does not look handsome at all, but then it turns out that Wyatt Russell is so insanely handsome. Anyway, just A for me too. Like really, this is one that I'm excited about, and I feel like mostly I'm just gonna hate him and want Doom to be punching him the whole time. But that's okay. That's great. That's a lot of fun if you're in on the joke, and I feel like we so are with this guy.
And you know, I was trying to think about what it is about John Walker that I both love and hate, and I think it's that it's like if Archer took the super serum, but you removed his emotional, his cleverness, and added emotional security.
Yeah,
because
and no lapse.
Vulnerable. Yeah, and no lapse, no cleverness, and it's so like an actual jock, not exactly an asshole, but yeah, someone who, when pushed, it's gonna kill you with the shield. So that is definitely it. If I'm gonna give him an A, it's gonna mostly be for Wyatt, because I love him, and I really hope we get to see him in Monarch Season 2, even though I know we won't.
Well, I want to say that what we do get to see him in is kind of cool, because Wyatt Russell ultimately appears in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and he will appear in Thunderbolts, which I don't know. Thunderbolts is my movie to look forward to of 2025 right now. It has everything I want.
I think it's going to be really good.
It has that crunchy 8 heads in a duffel bag in a world of 4 weddings and a funeral that I really need.
I'm very disappointed it's not Thunderbolts, the original, because that is such a great concept. It was one of comics' most important concepts.
I am a weird Baron Zemo fanboy.
Yes, I mean, Zemo is awesome. There's a lot of reasons to be. I would have really liked if we had introduced some of the Thunderbolts, or some of the, Moonstone, like some of the Thunderbolts. Yeah, I know. We were just watching something with Blonde, who I thought should be Moonstone, maybe White Lotus.
You'd make a great boy Moonstone.
I'd have to bleach again though.
No, the highlights are enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna pray on that. If somebody can get me the right leotard, I'm on it. The original Thunderbolts are really good, and it's such a good concept. I'm sad we're not doing it. Also because they are just the Thunderbolts. They can't be anything else. The brand is that. I really like all of the new Thunderbolt stuff we've done, most of which has been a lot of more people like this, and a lot of times it is literally just Bucky and co. That's what we're doing right now. But yeah, in the meantime, this is okay. Let's not waste those villains, guys. Ugh. All right.
True.
It's my first S.
Yeah.
Husbando. Amor. Te amo.
And this is a character for whom I am actually going to give this character more of an aspirational grade than I necessarily would give with how I felt about him based on what we got in Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever wasn't Bangarang, but I have hope. I thought his performance was really interesting, and I would love to see what he could do with perhaps some more dynamic material, with some growth for the character, especially because that movie went through so many weird phases. And, we're really starting to see the word mutant all over the place, all over this goddamn movie. So, I don't know. I'm excited. And I immediately had to make the note. One of the few things I know about him is, holy shit, right away he's in a movie with Sue Storm. So let's go.
Honestly, looking at him, his nipples, I get like full on gem Madonna, nothing fails. I'm not religious, but it makes me want to pray. Like, looking at this man's chest this is an example of where comic art doesn't fail us. He has such beautiful elements that represent the structural physicality of 1930s, 40s, and 50s comics. And, Namor being an interpretation of what is a beautiful birth of 2020's creativity. It's just stunning. And I give this character, who unfortunately has one appearance, Wakanda Forever, I give this gentleman an A, because I only see potential.
Yep. Only potential too. It's an S for me. I think he's so hot. I love him so much. I love Namor. I love Namor as an alternate to Namor. The Sue Storm thing is funny. I will say this was a great point in the announcements, because I knew we were getting at least another Fantastic Four member, but this is around when it became very clear that we were talking about Avengers Doomsday. And there was sort of a hope for a minute that maybe we wouldn't be getting Pedro Pascal, and like maybe it would just be the Storm siblings. And so Sue and Namor being in the same movie together could actually be something. At this point, I feel relatively confident that the Fantastic Four will appear alongside Namor, who might make one sort of sexy remark at Sue, and nothing else is happening. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I'd love to be wrong. Prove me wrong, Marvel. Russo brothers, get spicy for a second. I highly doubt I am. That's okay. I still love him so much. This interpretation is so insanely important to me. It's not my culture, but it is, as a Jewish person who knows about like Jewish mythology and Jewish mysticism and sees ways that like there's no Jewish magic practitioners in Marvel, and like you could take Dr. Druid and call him Dr. Mystic and have him be Jewish and practice esoteric Kabbalah, seeing that they saw a way to take other myths of ocean-based cultures and say like, yeah, I mean, like it's not just the white European Atlantis myth. There other people had the exact same thing, and a lot of cases like it's barely even myth. These are like Tenochtitlan, the Aztec city was aquatic and essentially sunk into was buried in the water.
Well, and just to point to your point, like how much of this actually is myth or not. What was it? Super squids, like the giant squids that we have actually now found proof of in the deep ocean. Yeah, people thought were fictitious until 1977 or something.
Yeah.
Who knows? And I don't think we're gonna find this god of man under the ocean. But you have raised some really great points. I'm sorry to have cut you off. Please continue.
No. You're saying, yeah, like this is we find these things all over the place, and they don't just have to be the white European myth. They can be other people's myths. As Tori put, sometimes you can just be mistaken.
I literally was like, she's so smart. I don't care. I'm gonna flash it.
She might be smart, but Buffy Summers said it to what's her name first?
Maggie Walsh.
Maggie Walsh. Why are they not in this movie? By the way, they are Disney.
Ooh, SMG in a Avengers movie would be great.
Yes.
And my last thought as well that I wanted to say is I feel like Pedro Pascal's Reed might be into it. So
he would sit in that cuck chair and wrap his arms and legs around it all day long.
He doesn't just grow, he can stretch. So
yeah,
I actually think people are always like, oh, he'd make his dick huge. What people don't understand is that if Reed Richards were a homosexual bottom, the things he would do with his
my god.
Yeah, I mean,
first king.
Yeah. I think Reed's stretch dick is very unimpressive, but Reed's scalloped asshole could change the world.
You, sir,
I'll say it. I said what I said.
You discovered the bear of changelings, sir. It's gonna win all the awards. And speaking of the bear, I'm gonna reveal something that absolutely nobody is going to find even 1% shocking. I think Ibn Mas Bakrak is so fucking hot. It's like literally pointless.
But does that matter when we're talking about this?
Well, he'll be human at some point. But actually, this is such a fucking incredible iteration of the Thing.
Yeah.
This is just straight up Alex Ross's The Thing. This is like the best version of the Thing possible. And he looks cool. The thing is, and I'm going to be honest, I love difficult perhaps Jewish men who have difficulty expressing their emotions as a result of war.
And have weird craggy faces and you said as a result of war. Now we're talking about a different one. Never mind.
But no, all of you.
The social war, the landscape of New York City in the 1990s could be described as.
And so I just
war for emo and pop punk. That was where I fought.
Yes. And so I just want to say, I want to give this an S, but it's Vanessa Kirby syndrome, but a little bit less because it's, CGI. So I'm going to give it a C.
Jesus. Again, I was like, well, you didn't actually give that one an F. So I gave him a B. Vanessa Kirby
I'm so sorry to be the bummer.
Yeah, you're the bad guy.
No, the good news is nobody here is the bad guy. Everybody here is 100%.
Oh no, we have not gotten to the basement my ratings will be going to.
Okay, as long as nobody gives the next person anything less than an S, we're all fine.
That I know we're all set on. Yeah, I don't care about this. Because I also don't know what we're doing yet. Sue Storm is always exciting because it's like feminist icon, mother, quite literally. Anything could happen there. I'm rooting for her. This is a dude made out of rocks who is sometimes great, sometimes terrible. It could go either way. I don't know. I'll bookmark it. Let's redo this one in a year, and maybe my grade will have changed.
Oh yeah, true.
That's the literal hottest thing you've said to me in the calendar year 2025, and you say a lot of sexy things.
Just because I think we'll still be alive in a year?
No, but the idea that what they did today, will my positivity or will the realism really be what matters, is culturally, is historically, because that's what I care about. I don't care about same day reaction. I care about history. KEVO, what you got?
Revisiting it after the movie comes out, seeing how our rankings hold up. Yeah. I think I'm also going to go with B. I think it's really interesting that this is the second tier maker we are doing with Ebon Husker Du this month. You can check out our Marvel Netflix character ranking in the comments, description on our channel, on our review of the first 3 episodes of Daredevil. That was a lot of fun.
Hold on. The lead singer of Husker Du's solo work, Bob Mould, is phenomenal.
Bob Mould.
I genuinely love Bob Mould, and people should check out Husker Du. They're a great band. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm excited. Ben Grimm looks great. I'm more excited about this than Thunderbolts right now, and I think at the end of the summer, both are going to ultimately even out to a really positive vibe. So, yeah, I'm hopeful. We'll see. S for Simu, S for Shang-Chi, S for other things that start with the letter S, for sure.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi, 1 appearance, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, S, and not just because he did an incredible job hosting for Kelly. He's just a cool dude. He's emotional man candy as well as visual man candy, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, this is he really is one of the kind of litmus test is the wrong word, but he's like an early blueprint for this thing where we have said like hot dumb men don't just have to be white guys, and like this is why Barbie was such a great movie, because you did have all of the Ken. You had Simu Liu, you had Chutigawa, you had all these men who were not Ryan Reynolds or Ryan Gosling, who were also Ken.
Not Ryan Murphy.
Thank goodness for that. And yeah, I mean, this is such a fucking Ken. This dude is such a hunk. Shang-Chi is one of my favorite Marvel movies. I just love a genre piece Marvel film. And yeah, I don't know, man. S all the way. Love him.
I never thought about the ways in which he represents the hunk side of Captain America.
Yeah.
Good for him. Not that Anthony Mackie isn't hunky, but this Shang-Chi is kind of a himbo in a lot of ways. And
we have another person who I think fits that hunk role better than Anthony Mackie that we'll talk about in a second.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we're going with S. Excited to see more. Want to see way more than just this movie. Oh, is this the person that's the hunk?
Yolanda.
This is your hunk?
Oh, I mean,
Yelena
she
Baloney?
is a fucking hunk. Yolanda Baloney is absolutely a hunk.
Looking like a member of S Club 7 over here.
Okay,
Truly.
hold on. I wanted to point out that.
Well, hold on. Before you point out stats.
That's what I'm going to say. I want to point out
Oh,
that
yeah.
Trinity from the Matrix over here has only appeared in 3 projects. Black Widow in 2021, Hawkeye in 2021, Thunderbolts in 2025. Yet somehow she is the machine minus the Pew of the Marvel Universe. We are a city in Italy for her.
Lindsay.
She is amazing, and I'm going to give her an A. The only reason I'm not going to give her an S is I haven't seen Thunderbolts yet.
It's also worth pointing out that for some of these people, and she's one of them, like wouldn't we get into hours with her? How many hours of screen time has she had? Because she was in Hawkeye, which was a series, and so she got to have a few really good moments in that. And when you add them up, it's like multiple, maybe a movie plus, a movie and a half, or 2 movies worth of additional appearances. So I'm not actually saying let's do that math, but some of these people, poor Evan Moss Bacharach hasn't been in a movie yet. Like his has yet to come out, and meanwhile her credits are few, but Hawkeye was really substantial, and she was so fucking charming. This is one of very few characters who I genuinely said I don't care about. I don't care about adapting White Widow. I don't care about Yelena Belova. She's never been in a comic that I've liked. A different example, but like just as a comparison, Cersei from the Eternals has never been a character that I've particularly cared about, but has had just enough appearances and wore one iconic bomber jacket one time such that I was like, Marvel has to do right by Cersei. I care about Cersei. Marvel Comics has never done a thing with Yelena that made me care at all. And now I hated how Scarlet got killed and got shuffled out. And I don't want that for Black Widow. I don't want that for Scarlett Johansson in these movies, as being the only woman in the Avengers when it started. I just think she deserves better than that. But to me, my Widow, my secret agent woman superhero character is Yelena. It is Florence Pugh all the way. God, she's so dynamic. She's so funny. She's so good. I can't say enough good stuff about her. This is another S for me. This could be sort of the opposite of who did I give the low grade to? Oh, Sebastian Stan. This could be the opposite of Sebastian Stan. I'm giving her such a high grade, and she could tank it in this movie. Where Sebastian Stan, I gave him a really low grade, and he might really just skyrocket out of it by killing it in that movie. So I'm really interested to see.
Yeah, I like her a lot. I think I'm also going to temper it and not go quite as far as S because we don't know what Thunderbolts is going to bring. But I want to say A because there's a lot of hope for the character, and I hope she trends in a positive direction.
Well, what
can be said?
Cousin Westmoreland. No, my fair cousin. If we are marked to die, we are enough. To do country loss and to live. Can I just tell you that I had a friend, and she and I would do the motherfucking St. Crispin's Day speech from Henry V all the fucking time. And then inexplicably, one day, we are watching X-Men The Last Stand, and this gentleman and his scrambled eggs says, "But we in it shall be remembered, we few, we happy few, we band of brothers, for he today that sheds the blood with me." And it's just a straight up full soliloquy, right? I have to give this a C because there's no chance that my literal living favorite actor on the planet, whose real life persona is not something I enjoy, but his acting skills, my literal favorite actor, he can't give more than he gave in the Marvels. But to be clear with you, this motherfucking gentleman, Hank McCoy, played by Kelsey Grammer, appeared in X-Men: The Last Stand in 2006, Days of Future Past in 2014, and The Marvels in 2023, making him earlier back than anybody we've mentioned yet at this point. I'm just hoping that this means that Phoebe Newworth plays Lilith in the Marvel universe.
Stop! Don't say things like that because we're not going to get them.
There's zero reason she couldn't be playing Trish Tilby, but we're not going to get it.
I know.
It's because she has the best legs on Broadway.
Well, and just
Obviously,
imagine
if you
Trish
go-
Tilby in a mini skirt doing reporting, and she just does a high kick just because the X-Men did great.
If you go back in the X's for Show archive, the person that Phoebe Newworth is supposed to be playing in the X-Men franchise is Charles Xavier. But anyway.
Yeah. Oh, Lord. I mean, I gave it a D. I hate this. Kelsey Grammer as Beast in 1989 would have been the most amazing thing that ever happened to any of us. When we got him, I thought to myself, yeah, that's what I would have been doing the whole time. I thought to myself, he's too old, but
Nobody listens to techno.
With a good, body double, and the fact that he's all blue anyway, we can get away with it for one movie. And lo and behold, we did. This is just going to be a computer. This is just an animated performance that he is voicing. What?
You said the word. Old.
Oh.
Every single one of these actors is old. Even Channing Tatum is old. They're going to be old X-Men. It's not going to be just computers. I mean, it's going to be computers because it's going to be, to make them look like themselves instead of the way it used to be done. But they're going to be old.
Beast has to be able to hang from his foot hands.
If he's old, they might be like he doesn't.
No,
the old cat doesn't climb around as much anymore. I'm not saying it's comic accurate.
I love that, A, because it should be Cat Beast, but B, no. I agree. What you're saying should be the philosophy. But no, they're going
because I think that's it for these guys.
Dude, who they're going to say is 35. They're not.
I think we are going to get some old X-Men who are going to come in and help save the day and sacrifice themselves nobly. I don't think they will be the Fox X-Men, but it's so that, we can see these guys do something heroic and die and then get young ones. So yeah, we're not going to see them doing action things. That's not how they talked Alan Cumming into coming back.
Well, I hope you're right.
Avengers.
I think you are wrong. I think they won't be. It's not going to be a full Avengers movie worth of Chris's doing acrobatics and holding on to helicopters with their bare hands. But I think they will be doing more action. Bare hands.
Well, we have people to do that, though. There's 57 actors in it, as far as we know.
I'm saying I think some of these guys, some of these characters will be doing
Channing
it.
will do it.
Channing absolutely will, because he was fat for a different role. And he lost all the weight and said that he's never going to get fat again.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm really sorry.
I love you so much.
I don't know which of us you're talking to, but I love me too. Fat Channing is done. Fat Channing is dead.
You said it so loud. Oh, no. It's like you're a Jamie Lee Curtis all over again. Hey. See to this guy. I'm sorry. Can you talk me into Sentry?
Hold on. TK, finish your thought and then talk him into Sentry.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna go right into Sentry. There's just too much. I'll pick up when we get to Alan Cumming.
Smart.
Do you want me to talk you into Sentry, this guy, or what's gonna happen in the movies?
I don't know. Whatever you're in the mood for.
This guy appears to be a really, really talented actor.
Okay.
Sentry, I think the only thing I'll say is there is nobody less capable of taking on a god than the cast of Thunderbolts, and that is exceedingly funny. Bob Russell is
Reynolds.
Sorry, not Russell.
Wyatt Russell, but I get it. I got
Russell.
Wyatt Russell on the brain too.
Bob Reynolds is more powerful than Superman and has a dark side that is significantly more fucked up than anything Superman can produce. Most of the really top tier Captain Marvel Avengers can't take on Sentry, who is our team of Thunderbolts. David Harbour should not be attempting to punch this man.
It's a bunch of paste pot Pete's.
Yeah, exactly. This could be exceedingly funny and then lead to some real moments of poignance, some really funny gags, some really funny tricks. I have no idea how this guy's going to be as an actor. I could absolutely see him overacting it. This is getting a low grade for me. This is getting a B or a C because I have no idea where we're going with this. And Marvel doesn't have the greatest track record. They don't get benefit of the doubt. But I can tell you there is plenty of reason to be hopeful.
Okay. Nico, what are you going?
I give him a B. You know, I think that for the most part, it's actually really hard to write an OP story. You know, it's why very frequently it is very difficult for the biggest vocalists to release a debut album that matches their ability. It's just when your potential is all the potential, it is really hard to hit that potential.
Yeah. Next.
The big thing I'll say is that
Oh.
Bob has a beautiful mane of long blonde hair. And I actually kind of do. I weirdly find things like that important for characters way more than like, I just don't think a wig is acceptable for a lot of people. Matt Smith just never should have been cast as a Targaryen because there's just not a wig on this, or the wig budget for Game of Thrones also needed to be quadrupled. But I do think Bob being a blonde golden god is like part of the point. And so that, that's not really a big deal, but it's also a huge deal.
Speaking of gods, this is one of
Gods,
my
huge deal. A's,
huge deal, huge giant deal. Thank you for being in Brave New World. Thank you.
No, guys, I'm so sorry, but I really want to give him a D. No,
Good,
yeah,
A,
give him
B.
all the D's.
Actual real story. The actor is very talented. He is also unfairly handsome. And he is given a great big pile of bird feathers to work with. And I would really like it if they gave him the meat of a character to work with. But he mostly goes, yeah, haha, cool, yeah, that's awesome. He's basically Pitbull. He comes in. It is the Pitbull cover of Bon Jovi's "It's My Life." He just follows around somebody who has already established a 30-40 year fandom and goes, yeah, haha, cool. Even though the actor is unbelievably talented. It's terrible, but I don't want him in this movie. I'm giving him a C because he is essentially going to fly behind Sam going, yeah, haha, wings.
It's one of the moments in early Brave New World that kind of took me out of it, where he doesn't recognize Isaiah Bradley immediately, even though he is a soldier in a world where super soldiers exist, where Isaiah Bradley has been declassified and is in the Captain America museum now, and there's no reason he shouldn't have seen a picture of this man. Like, it's so weird, and it's to make him seem like a cool, fun guy, and it did not work. But he played it so well, and I really admire actors going with what they're given, even when you kind of want to be like, you didn't give a note. but I was so hopeful that he would be in Brave New World, and then he was. And so seeing that he's going to be in more, it's very cool to see characters getting this sort of longevity ongoingly. So gives me hope for other characters. I hope to see more Wiccan. So rooting for this guy.
Yeah, it was an A for me. I agree with what both of you are saying. I just think he's hot, and hotness is very important to me in Marvel movies, mostly because I know the plot doesn't matter. So, you know, I don't know. Bird people are great. You go, bird person.
Action figures. It's...
I'll get this one right out of the way. B, don't care. Could be great, could be terrible. We're going to find out later. But even still, we already had the perfect Johnny Storm, who was the worst possible option for Captain America. We should be on our 8th Fantastic Four.
Sharon Needles is the worst possible option for Captain America. So thank your lucky stars that it was just Chris Evans. Like,
I mean,
rein it in. Like, a bag of pennies would have been worse.
I mean, Sharon Needles would have been worse.
Which
pennies? I don't know. Yeah. Which pennies? Exactly.
Not the 1 cent pennies. The 1 cent pennies would have been amazing Captain Americas.
A bag of penny from Happy Endings, doing Captain America would have been great.
Give a penny.
I love this guy on Stranger Things. I'll be interested to see how they present him as hot.
That's so weird. I feel like I recognize him from Mormon Boys.
Yeah, like everything that we've seen of him so far, the images like this, and every single bit of like film, there's been no personality, and it's weird to say because we have, been given so little, but everyone else, even Reed, has given any amount more personality. But he's so vacant and scared looking, like they didn't give him the script, and it's not really inspiring a lot of confidence.
And my name was NPC.
Even Tommy Holland is giving more like hunky boy, like hunky teen.
Yeah.
And I love him in Stranger Things, like I said, and that's a character with a ton of personality, like even kind of too much in a stupid way, but like, sure, it's working for the show, and then they kill him off really quickly, so it's fine. I don't know what we're doing with this dude. Like, he looks like he could be beautiful, but yeah, I haven't seen anything that makes me feel like Johnny Storm. I don't know. I went with B, and it's a really neutral B. I maybe should have even gone with C, but this is where we are.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go with B. Good luck, though.
All right. So,
what do you think, Daddy?
David Harbour has such a weird, kind of like unique place in the Marvel Universe. He's had one proper appearance in Black Widow 2021. He'll be in Thunderbolts 2025. He had a significant role as vaguely Red Guardian in a very significant What If, and I would probably have left that out for anyone else, but it's one of the things that I think has kind of kept him magic. As soon as Black Widow came out and was an underwhelming success somehow, talk about him being in Thunderbolts, talk about him being in What If. There was so much energy around David Harbour's future success as a Marvel property that it was sort of odd that there was so much time between moments of propertizing. Yes, he serves full on, my goodness, daddy. Oh, but Red Guardian vibes for me like the kind of person that you kill off, unfortunately. So I don't know that Red Guardian gets more than a B, because I feel like he only survived Thunderbolts to perhaps die in Doomsday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yes. I mean, like, I saw Black Widow going in a very different direction and ending with him dying, for sure. And it was one of those things where I forgot that the whole point is that Black Widow was already dead. So like that's you're
So they're
kind of
not
just
gonna double die, yeah.
well, yeah, like and you're kind of A, they don't want to lose a potential property member, and B, like the whole point is like no matter how great she does, no matter how high she soars, we already know that the tragedy is that she's not going to survive to be able to circle back and tell these people that she loves them and be part of the family again. But it did feel like if they had not killed her off in Endgame, and if they'd really thought about it, they would have killed him. I don't know. I don't know that I care. He's funny, but like he's not as funny as Yelena is. He's not as funny as Florence Pugh is.
Yeah.
And they're doing the same routine, which is like not Russian person doing hammy, hacky Russian accent for American people that don't know the difference, and it amuses the shit out of us, which I'm fine with. But I don't know. I don't care. He is not that old and in phenomenal shape, but he's also old and he's not going to be doing this a long time. We also never do Red Guardians. Like the next Red Guardian story we have is would be like Red Guard and Jason Aaron's Avengers, which I think we're probably not getting to with this guy and this crew. Also, or this universe, like by the time we even had the time to produce that movie, we're going to be rebooting the universe, and by the time we've established new Avengers, this guy will officially be too old to do Red Guard and be Red Guardians. I don't know. I guess I'm way too not excited about this. This is a C. Best of luck to you.
Yeah, no, I think also C. You're singing my life with your words. I think a lot of that is really true, and I think most of all, I don't want this character to be milked for any kind of protracted, horrific, tragic, heroic death.
I, however, would milk.
Those become, yes, absolutely, but those become exhausting. It becomes like the Joss Whedon blood splatter on the face in the late 2010s. You're over it. 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 Let's do new things. Even if you ride him off into the sunset instead, and you can pull him out for special occasions. But let's not do the same thing that song and dance that we always do. Speaking of riding things into the sunset.
I was going to say, speaking of milking, because as you guys, as you were talking about milking and Nico made the milking joke, I was literally trying to figure out the best, like, least offensive way to talk about milking every last spermule out of this man's dick.
Not it.
No. Listen to me. You get Namor.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
You got somebody on this list already too. I think this is my
second whore. Like
this is my second draft pick.
M'Baku is cookies.
Hold on. I'm going to say this. I'm giving you guys M'Baku specifically because you have an appreciation. What?
Fashnik was played by Shaw from Star Trek.
Yes.
Okay, good. Anyway.
Cookies. You get him because you guys had an appreciation for him from Modern Family that I did not have. And that is, the game is partially a finders keepers. Whoever gets there first and plants the flag. You absolutely did. So you get that.
S all the way.
The fucking way.
Yes.
This is what I was talking about when I said there's another, hunky black man. So it really does not just need to be Anthony Mackie, who Anthony Mackie is sexy, but he is not a hunk.
No, and I think it has to do with the fact that he is a man who has worked so, you are so gifted that your face is the shape that supports muscle. So if you got bigger, and than you already are, and your neck hit that place where it was no longer cute, you would be okay because your face, you would look fine like that. You just look like Reacher. You're fine. But the problem becomes guys like Anthony Mackie have what are, I think, 190-pound.
He's wiry. He's supposed to
And
be. Yeah,
and
he
it-
can't get big.
at 220. Like I feel like I'm lucky that I look okay at 220. And I think Anthony Mackie is a very handsome man who you can see where some of the quality of his handsomeness is lost in the size of his unbelievable body.
Yeah. M'Baku is gorgeous. Oh, Seth?
Oh, beyond gorgeous.
That's
Oh, I just want to be clear. I did not realize this, but Black Panther is Black Panther, and he is Great Gorilla.
Wow.
I did not realize that, but that's definitely kind of a Halo Bonobo moment. Black that's a fucking funny 8-hour patch joke. Black Panther 2018, Avengers Infinity War 2018, Endgame 2019, Wakanda Forever 2022, 4 movies. S. Mock, someone else go.
Yeah, S. I really wanted him to take over as Black Panther. It's not the logistical choice, but I love him. He's great. I love the choices they make for the character. I love when they do a bait and switch where you think someone's supposed to be a villain and he's an ally. He's really cool. I wanted to see more of him, and now we are. So yeah, S.
Great.
This woman.
and she's here.
I am okay. Interesting. I don't have the skills to discuss this character. This is an S from me. I am super obsessed.
What are you talking about?
I love Ghost as a concept in Iron Man, and think that Ghost is flawed by being a dumb old man. I think this actress is super brilliant and super incredible. I think the idea of reimagining Ghost. I mean, I'm a Bill Foster fanboy in the first place, so like, I think this is one of those examples of where if somebody just wrote the right fucking shit for her, she could be a major force in the Marvel Universe. Ghost could be a supporting character that helps Ironheart achieve that status. This could be a member of a Black Ops Avengers. I believe so much in this character that it's really frustrating for me that she got no respect in all of the lead up to Thunderbolts, to the point where you can ask Kevo. I was depressed. I was I don't want to go to Thunderbolts for a while because I was convinced she was going to die 10 minutes into the movie because she's
true.
She's replaced by Taskmaster in all of the reshoots, evidently. But to know she survives, I'm thinking maybe she's just taken off the board really quickly. But no, I mean, Pym particles are my favorite scientific thing in the Marvel Universe. I love most Iron Man villains that are scientific in nature. I love this character, and I would like to ask this actress out on a date.
Oh, good for you.
I think she's super hot, so... Sorry, yeah, I'm Pan, and I think she's super delicious.
Oh yeah. No, I feel bad. I saw this name and I was like, oh, I think that might be Silver Surfer. I'm not. It wasn't.
Nope.
I liked Ghost.
Ow.
And so I'm excited for her to have the ability to play more, not just in Thunderbolts, but beyond. What we're seeing is some really cool stuff with how many characters there are to play in something like Doomsday. So,
did you really not know she's my favorite thing about the Ant-Man universe? Wholesale in the MCU. I think
Ant-Man doesn't come up a lot.
I think she is an A+. I think she is fucking great.
No fucking idea, which is insane to me because I like this actor from Killjoys and from a little bit of Game of Thrones action.
Mm-hmm.
She's been in a bunch of stuff that I like. I don't have any problem with Ghost, except that what?
Comic Ghost is just fucking install. Comic Ghost.
That's all.
Okay, yeah, I mean, have we moved over to a version of her for Comic Ghost?
No, because
Still
you know
no?
what? She's essentially what if Kitty Pryde was left
Yeah.
phased looking to get revenge for Wolverine.
Yeah.
And like that's what I love about her. But
Yeah.
there is really the closest thing to her in the comics is Justin Hammer's fucking incel son.
Yeah. I don't know. This could be great. I did not think Ghost was compelling in Ant-Man and Wasp. But I also didn't think Wasp was compelling in Ant-Man and Wasp. So
It doesn't seem like she's in the next one, so don't worry. I think
No.
Yeah, so she's retired, I guess.
turns out that the sting of being anti-vax was the real danger the whole time, Kate.
and somebody's
Don't
like,
blow
what
up your
happened to
dad
her?
again.
And he's like, and of rage.
She got COVID after not getting any of the vaccines.
She's just lost. Have you ever heard my theme song to Lost? We're
No.
lost. That's the
Oh.
whole theme song.
Mine's called Lost Island, and it has a lot more lyrics than that.
You are.
Is it
you
pretty-
are-
Music from the show, or is it your own invention?
No, it's my own. It's my own song. It's,
You are literally my favorite lyricist
it's,
since Bernie Taupin.
Yeah, it's. I had a whole. Yeah, Lost Island. It was at one point I was like, this could really be like a YouTube short that would be very funny. The whole point was they're on an island and they can fully see land. It's like not far away from them. But they do the whole thing as though it's lost and like they have no idea where they are and can't get out, but they could literally like swim to a fully like equipped city.
Like the Matthew Scott SNL sketch where they're trapped on an escalator.
Yes. Yeah.
Real quick, Ant-Man and the Wasp 2018, Thunderbolts 2025.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I hope the
Now
best for her,
free.
and I do hope that Taskmaster does not eat her up in content and reshoots.
Taskmaster, I don't give a shit. I finally got the
Well,
only
it's-
thing I really care about. I got Finesse, and I don't know why she's just
Yeah.
not Finesse.
Taskmaster is great insofar as, I mean, it's great for Marvel because it's just a suit. It could be anybody in there, and that's fine. Like that's very convenient.
By the
But,
fourth movie, it's gonna be Ray Park. It's fine.
It's always going to be Ray Park.
love Ray Park.
Except for in this, what's wrong with you people? Anyway, let's.
It's Juliana Margulies.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
I see it. Anyway.
I gotta give this an S
Maybe Hitty.
because anybody who knows me understands I have a weird relationship with Loki where I kind of cry sometimes. So as a person who wishes he always felt like the big brother, but always feels like the little brother, I
This is why you love the Aaron run so much.
yes,
Oh.
I can't speak highly enough about Tom Hiddleston's. I mean, if anybody could rival Robert Downey Jr., it's an absolute master of his craft, a god of performance. He plays two different versions of Loki, each one more flawless than the last. Loki Laufey-san from Thor in 2011, The Avengers in 2012, Dark World in 2013, Ragnarok in 2017, Infinity War in 2018. One of the most perfect villains ever devised. However, the best version ever, Loki, who I have dubbed Loki Odinson. Avengers Endgame 2019, Loki Season 1 2021, Quantumania 2023, Loki Season 2 2023. This is, it's why I walk around in a variant. I walk around Comic Cons in a variant jacket. This is like the finest TV character since Brie Vandekamp, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This is just absolutely why TV exists. I love TV Loki so much. It's an S.
I mean, you're.
Oh, I'm so sorry. TK is about to have an incorrect opinion, so everybody, please make some popcorn, Jiffy Pop, whatever
Gird your
you
loins.
want.
Yeah, grab a drink. This is some bullshit about to be.
Do
spun.
you have earplugs?
No. Listen,
go
they're
look
gonna
at
get
broadcast
so much
2 years
worse.
ago.
This is one of my nicer opinions because here's my thing. I agree with everything you said except for my worry is,
Swear to Jesus, TK. Thank you, Corey.
My worry is we left him on such a perfect note.
You are
Yeah.
literally you went into a battle where there was no way to win, and you found the only way, and you just got the crown.
If it was just like, who do you love that's going to be in these movies, this would be an S for me. But I don't know that I want him to come back. Like, there are ways that it could happen that I would just like, if they're just like, oh no, we accidentally like stepped outside of reality and we are now amongst all the vines, and he's just sitting there like, you guys have to get the fuck out of here, I'm barely holding this all together. That would be, to me, amazing, and I would let it go. But if he shows up and they're writing, and he's like, oh, I just conveniently left holding all of reality together to do hitty-titty things with you.
Because here's the thing, too.
Yeah.
I also have your fear.
Yeah.
Because this movie, I had forgotten, isn't Marcus McFeely. It's actually just McFeely and Michael Waldron, who wrote Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
I'm feeling McFeely.
Who was the showrunner on Loki Season 1, not the showrunner on Loki Season 2. Right. And there is always that fear of a comic book writer coming back after they left a run, and somebody wrote something new to be like, oh, I didn't want my character left there. I actually
this guy did that in Multiverse of Madness. When he just decided it does not matter where we left Wanda in...
Yeah, I didn't watch
WandaVision.
Yeah. It didn't matter where we left Wanda in WandaVision. This is where she's going now. And even more so if this person has resentment because this isn't how they would have done Loki, to be like, well, you know, he never, I don't want to show him as having sacrificed himself to keep all of reality together. So instead, he's just going to do stuff. I hope we get another 27 announcements, because I don't want to see this character if he's not fucking an alternate version of himself. Loki and Sylvie for life, Tim and an alternate version of TK for life. That's all I want. I would marry myself in a heartbeat. I think the only person that can ever really understand me is me, and I think we would make an amazing couple.
That's so weird, because in my AU, I am the only assassin that is trained well enough to kill myself. So, amazing.
That's amazing. You fantasize about killing yourself. I just hate myself on the daily and fantasize about loving myself.
Oh no, I love myself way too much.
Yeah, I know. I've been present in your company for exactly 2 seconds. I'm aware.
We just want to write fanfic together.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna give this an A, and it is for our unfulfilled hopes and dreams. This could go bad. This really could go bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a hopeful S.
Oh, I love that.
And we're gonna flash forward to KEVO in 2026.
Yep.
Maybe I'll make a short out of it, and we'll see. Cut 2, and we'll see how I end up feeling.
Fucked up. All right, everybody.
Just look at this guy.
We said go grab a drink before when I had lovely things to say about Tom Hiddleston. Go grab your drink now, because I got a bunch of bullshit to spout, and it's not going to end for like 3 or 4 characters, guys. Hate this. Fucking hate it.
So here's why I give this an A. You can't actually create a compelling reason that the character that would go on to so completely define an iterative narrative that it would change how people felt about the printed comics, and so much beyond that. Because I hear people sometimes say that, oh no, it's Xavier in TAS. No, it's not, because Xavier in TAS is still kind of like, and like, you know, he just sort of sounds like Foghorn. Like,
he doesn't have the eyebrows of TAS Xavier. No, absolutely not.
And so it's this version of the character that makes him your dad, your granddad, your uncle, your great uncle. And so I don't know. I feel like he got what was essentially the cinnamon toast crunch of life in Multiverse of Madness, when what he deserved was the Disneyland churro of life. And I just want to point out that between he and Ian McKellen, I believe they appear first on screen. Patrick Stewart first appeared in X-Men 2000, and then X-Men X2 in 2003, X-Men The Last Stand in 2006, X-Men Origins Wolverine in 2009, The Wolverine in 2013, X-Men Days of Future Past 2014. This guy is in so much shit with Hugh Jackman. You would think he's a bottom. Logan in 2017, and then Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness in 2022. 8 projects, man. This guy, this reminds me of the guy who played Jean-Luc Picard, because he did that for so long as well.
I've decided to be generous and give this a B.
What a kind man you are. Thank goodness.
But I hate this. I think this is so stupid.
Oh, terrific.
I think this. Listen, Linda. I think this is terrible. I think we have to let these characters go at some point. Their film series was not great. Some of them were great in it, but a lot of what was written for them wasn't great. At a certain point, we have to move on. And I get the point that we're supposedly going to, but we're not even there yet.
But are we? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
no,
like
we're not.
that we're not even there yet. And are we rebooting the universe? Because then what does that mean for Kamala Khan, who is a mutant? Like, what does it mean that we're introducing mutants into the MCU if we're just rebooting the MCU such that we didn't need to introduce them because the new universe are always going to have been there. So then all of that work doesn't matter. But then what?
No, you can finish your thought.
Who the fuck is this guy? I don't know. I don't care. I've watched him in so many movies. I love him so much. Of course, he's my Professor X. I grew up with him being Professor X, but I also was ready to let it go. I felt really lucky that I got another chance to see him in Days of Future Past, and to have him and Ian McKellen be extremely gay together. And I was really happy, and I let it go. And then we got Logan, and I thought, whatever. It's kind of Wastelanders for dummies anyway. So sure, but now we're done. And now we're just doing this, and Frasier's playing Beast again. I didn't ask for any of this. What I asked for, I even would have taken the fucking dude from Game of Thrones who played Charles Xavier on FX Legion. I would like that guy.
I just want to be clear, at this age, Ted Danson should be playing Gambit. Like, for the ages these people.
Oh my god, I have a whole cast for an old X-Men movie. Mary McDonnell as Jean, of course. Madonna playing Emma.
I'm Jean Grey.
Yes,
no, 100%.
I even figured out a way how to get Edward James Olmos in, but I don't think he's Scott. I forgot who I have as Scott.
Kaka.
But like Gary Sinise, I cast, I think, as Nightcrawler.
I mean, you could Gary Sinise, you could cast him as pretty much anyone, and you'd be like, yeah, pointy face, okay. Art Adams drew that.
Well, I mean, he just looks like a little goblin man. I thought you just slap some blue on him and have him do these hands.
Eyebrows.
Yes. I know I had Guy Pearce in there too. I forget his who. But yeah, I have the whole casting as old X-Men. But you're absolutely correct. Ted Danson would be Gambit in that movie, and. Then who's Mary Steenburgen? Could Mary Steenburgen play Rogue? You could bleach her hair. Yeah. Yes. Done. Mary Steenburgen and Ted Danson in a Mr. and Mrs. X movie. Coming this fall, directed by NICO Action, written by TK. Okay. Yeah. No. I love him so much. It's not that I don't want him to play Professor X until he is on his deathbed, but I gotta move on with my life. Like I can't have everything I want, and I let this go.
And I think part of the problem is there's too much unknown quantity right now with why are you?
Yeah, why is he here?
Which will be the question when we get all the way down to the anchor. Why Robert Downey Jr.? Yeah, why bring all of these? Yeah,
the explanation could bump the movie up to an A.
But what if Patrick Stewart is playing an alternate universe version of Mantis?
And something that and that's the thing too. A lot of these people could be playing variants of other characters. They just said that these actors are in it.
Yeah.
Some of these actors could be playing variants of different characters, like we've speculated on. Something
I would hope for Moondragon, Nico, but if not him, then you.
Something I've really wondered about a lot is the idea of doing post House of M, where we're already living in the fallout of decimating the mutant population. And these mutants perhaps have been living in secret for decades, the way that mutants did live in secret for decades and haven't told the Avengers that they exist. Is sort of the Eternals thing of not revealing themselves. We really don't know what story they're going to be doing. So we're pinning a lot on hope, and that can be a little bit difficult. I think a huge part of my problem with this as well, and you even said it when you were like, the next whole bunch that we're going to have, this was 6 mutants in a row that they announced before the final 2 and then done. This was a whole lot of chunk right at the end, and I'm not sure how to feel about that and how that affects the presentation either.
Yeah, no, it made me think that we were secretly going to get Avengers vs. X-Men.
Yes.
Really. I want to say that from this guy who appeared in so much is somebody who appeared in just about the same amount, Ian McKellen, who my very pleasant mother, who likes alcohol as much as I do, refers to him as Ian McClellan. X-Men 2000, X2 2023. Oh my God, no. Oh no, Bryan Singer is not allowed to make movies in 2023. X2 in 2003, Last Stand in 2006, The Wolverine in 2013, and Days of Future Past in 2014. This man has not played this character in a decade.
Years. He wasn't in Logan. Wow.
No, and like one of the things that I love the most about Ian McKellen is to watch him speak is who are
you froze. I just thought you went off.
Who know how to suspend fame to talk the way he does. The kind of like earnest candidness. I feel like he's not going to play Magneto the same way. And so no matter what, for better or worse, this will include some part of Michael Fassbender's performance. Ian McKellen is such an artiste. I believe he will have watched those films, and I believe he will.
The history, I'm sure, will inform his performance no matter what, if not the actual performance from Fassbender.
But also, old gays get an S. And you know why? Because old gays deserve the S. I have a big old Grampy fetish, and while this man is certainly in the Groot Grampy category and maybe a little bit outside of my come get this dick, I definitely think that Ian McKellen, just as like a gay forefather, deserves the credit that Alan Cumming gets as a Traitors host.
I gave him a B because I didn't want Patrick Stewart to be lonely there.
They should always be together. They should
always be together. And like, so here's the thing: it is probably closer to an A because for the same reasons, but then also these are the same reasons why the grade should be low. So it's just kind of averaging out to a B. Yes, unlike Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen has not been seen in a hot minute. And I guess if he wants it, sure. I feel like we shot our load with Patrick Stewart with Multiverse of Madness. We shouldn't have done that. That was, again, I probably would have used Game of Thrones. I would have used the Legion, Charles Xavier, for Multiverse of Madness, just to keep Patrick Stewart in the chamber a minute longer. We couldn't necessarily know we were going to do this or do these movies or need all of this kind of star power to make it seem like something. But I don't know, man. I just like at some point we have to retire these characters. We have to retire Hugh Jackman. He cannot be Logan in the next.
I mean, death is coming.
I hope so.
I mean, for me, I'm 40, and like these people are 700. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But, like, at some point, people will stop being able to play trend out superheroes.
Yeah, well, and like Ian McKellen is old enough now that I would, Patrick Stewart's character is obviously in a wheelchair. He can sit down for most of the movie.
He can be as Grey Gardens as he needs.
Yeah, Ian McKellen, I thought would be maybe a little too old from a casting perspective to play Magneto. I'm fine that he's not. I'm not saying that he is. It's just what I would have thought. And I don't know. Eventually the X-Men are going to have to stand on their own and not just be a nostalgia factory. So I'm ready to get to that point, and I'm just not the most excited I've ever been about seeing this guy, but I love him so much, and there's a part of me that is hugely excited. And I'll just carry it right on over. I love him so much. I just don't care about Alan Cumming playing Nightcrawler. This one is absolutely a C for me. It was cute the first time. Was he in Last Stand?
No, and can you give a stat when you have a chance on that? Because I think the thing is, he's only been in one film before this.
It's just X2.
X2 was when again? 2003?
2003 traitors.
So that is a 22-year spread. I believe Alan Cumming is now going to hold the record
for the biggest, widest, gayest spread.
If not from first film to last film, biggest gap between films, I think, is going to now be Alan Cumming, and that's really cool. I really agree with a lot of what you're saying in terms of we need to move forward. I like an amount of nostalgia, but it's why I want Secret Wars to be done in 2027, and for 2028, the 20th anniversary of Iron Man, moving into the third decade of the MCU, for us to be moving forward and to not be seeing as much of this. So like this, I hope, is us getting our yayas out through the Multiverse Saga, and instead of constantly relying on the multiverse, moving forward with something solid after.
I just don't care about this version of Nightcrawler enough to want to see him again.
You heard it here. TK hates all gay actors.
Yeah, they're taking valuable roles that all would have gone to me otherwise. So I'm bothered. Obviously, I don't root for their success.
I've seen your Insta stories. I know what's up.
I mean, I really would have thought that when they were doing this announcement that it was for a Traitors-like game where all of these actors were going to be competing in a Scottish castle. I didn't think it was going to be that they were the cast of Endgame or of Doomsday. But yeah, I don't know. I don't care about Nightcrawler. I don't care about this version of Nightcrawler. I know that Alan Cumming will not be doing these moves, but again, I said this with Beast. I think we will be seeing Nightcrawler do this. I just think it's going to be a computer-generated image, and I think it's going to look really stupid, and I think I hate it.
I think you're right. Even in thinking about it, I think you're right to a degree that they're going to probably have some amount of physicality, and it's really dawning on me that part of the reason you do an announcement like this is fighting set leaks. There's probably going to be outdoor filming soon of these actors, and they want to get ahead of the fact that people are going to be leaking that these actors will be doing that. But I imagine it'll probably be limited, and it'll just be fun to see. It was a part of the joy of watching Brave New World was the action figure smash of it all. You kind of need more substance than that, but also it's just fun too, and fun can be fun. So I'm going to give him an A.
All right. So
I'm going to give Rebecca an A too.
I just want to be really clear. What an unbelievably beautiful lady. What an unbelievably wonderful person. She was married to a human who owned the Disneyland sign. And now she's married to Jerry O'Connell. Oh my God.
You're one of the Stand By Me kids.
She is living my dream.
He's a Goonie, right?
Yes. But maybe. I don't know. I've never seen
No, he's a Stand By Me.
I've never seen.
I thought he was both.
Movies because
I don't think legally you were allowed to be in both at the time.
I don't want to see this. I hate this.
No, do you know what I want? I want her, like you said, to be informed by Jennifer Lawrence Mystique. And I want her rather than playing Femme Nikita, I want her to play like a, really good guy Mystique as an adult. I would love that.
I would love her to play both characters talking to each other the whole time. I'm giving this a C, and here's why. I love Rebecca Romijn and legitimately think on Strange New Worlds she is life-changing. I love Mystique and truly believe in Krakoa. She was life-changing and love her. And I hate everything about this combination of the two.
Yeah, I mean, this is Mystique completely divorced from, not divorced, sorry, because actual marriage. There's no Destiny. We never did anything like Destiny for movie Mystique, so like we're nowhere near that.
So it's out to be gay.
Yeah, exactly. I do think they will have her say like, "My wife."
It's out to be gay.
Yeah.
Oh please! If only in the Borat.
Yeah. Have I ever showed you guys that panel? It's the
Romaine does
you're not gonna know it, Kevo. I apologize for this. NICO, it's from like issue 7 of X-Men where they first tell her they're not bringing Destiny back again, and it's just her face and she's screaming, "I want my wife back." Except the panel that I have, it's just her screaming face and the giant word balloon, and in it says Borat voiced my wife. It is my favorite panel in the history of making fun of comic books.
Sacha Baron Romaine gets an at Rebecca Romijn.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I did end up giving this a C because I think this is also kind of unfair to do to a person because this almost changed Mystique. If Mystique hadn't been such a strong character already, she would look like this in the comics. And did for a hot minute because of this. And Rebecca Romijn's performance was really, really strong, but I don't believe she can do this today. I don't believe, unless she wants to, that she should be asked to. And I don't know how we do this character in a way that speaks to the reason why you would bring Rebecca Romijn back, or why she's not essentially playing number one for the X. Number one is perfect, and that's I love her as that. That is a character fully clothed from head to toe, and not asked to do gymnastics. I don't know what we're doing here. I
hope that's why. I hope that's how they enticed her back, though. I hope that they enticed
you're gonna
a lot of
these people the whole time.
Back. I hope that they enticed a lot of these people back the same way they got people back for Deadpool and Wolverine, where they were like, "We want to do something cool with you, and to honor the potential that you had in this role, and honor what the character is supposed to be." Through you, the person who originated the role on screen. I mean, Rebecca Romijn has come so far, and the fact that what she's been able to do with number one, who's such an iconic part of Star Trek canon. I'd like to hope that that's what they wanted to do, is to honor both Rebecca Romijn and Mystique through having her back.
Well, and you know what I want to personally honor is, I said the Ronald process. I want to personally honor the legal process.
Yes, that.
So everybody, final grades on Mystique. I said C. TKU said C. Kevo.
I'm going A for Ad Astra per Aspera.
Love it. I don't know. This is a character that died forever ago. James Marsden as Cyclops, X-Men 2000, X2 2003, The Last Stand 2006, Days of Future Past 2014. And that was even a 3-second cameo, so it doesn't even really do much for anybody. I don't know. He's a great actor. He's very handsome. He's very fun. He's very sexy. But I don't I don't need this. This is what you paid money for. Like, he's amazing. He could do so much for a movie. Let him be in a movie that you will let him shine in, where he'll get a nomination for something. He'll be remembered. He's going to be remembered as one of 17 names in a list. That's not cute.
Yeah, I really feel the same way. And I was pulling up this skeet from my good friend who is Oculus Imperia on Blue Sky, who said, so this just makes Deadpool and Wolverine a massive market test for will audiences mistake cameos for will audiences mistake cameos from two decade old movies for a story? And that is what all of the X-Men especially really feel like. It is, an overload of cameos that will even just have everybody appear on screen is going to take a chunk of movie time. And then it's going to be sort of in that Avengers Endgame on your left thing where they all just appear and like, it's Cyclops in time. And then he shoots some eye blasts out and then the battle just goes on. And oh my God, we saw him. He feels better than that. Also, where's my girl? If we're going to do this is why I think we're getting another 27, because we're doing this.
Scared for how much Famke Janssen came back for so many Wolverine movies.
Where's my girl?
For her not to come back for this.
And as I said on Blue Sky today, if we're bringing Jean Grey, there is no reason that her cousin Meredith wouldn't be there to do triage and to medically resuscitate hurt superheroes.
I make $20 million a season, and so it gives me the freedom to do whatever the things that I want to do are.
One Russo movie that if I appear in for 30 seconds, I will get $75 million. Night nurse, night general attending surgeon at Avengers Mansion.
She can stand up to Denzel Washington. She can definitely take on Thanos. Yeah,
I don't care.
Watch Kyle Chandler blow himself up.
She blew him up with her mind.
She did, exactly. You thought it was a bomb? No, that was just getting Christina Ricci out of the way. Bring Jean Grey, bring Meredith Grey. Don't need Scott Summers. This was also a C for me.
Now, let me tell you why Gambit is getting S in my entire Gambit hating life. I hate Gambit. I think Gambit probably has some sort of weirdly fat, never gets hard tube cock. And other than that, there is no purpose for this dum-dum. And I love everybody loving him, but Gambit is a poorly fit boot. He is attractive, but I have no use for him. And I just fucking hate this character. But you know what I love? I love the way Channing Tatum said, everything you hate about Gambit, that's what I love to play. He is the ugly side of himbo. He is the silly side of superfluous. But what if that's fun? What if that's something you're willing to watch? That gets an S. He really made me excited for the stupid, and so that gets a stupid S.
I love your spit on it and enthusiasm. This
you
is
love that I spit on it. Correct.
Yeah. This is ultimate hate for me. This is a guy that was maybe supposed to play this character more than 20 years ago. Never got the role. It was funny for a second in Wolverine and Deadpool, but then even I didn't think I'm about to make a name for myself was funny. And then I thought every guy saying, okay, so this is, again, I said this on Blue Sky yesterday, your Parker Posey on White Lotus impression is not funny. Stop now. Your Moira Rose impression wasn't funny, and your Gambit impression isn't funny. Don't do them. They're not funny. It's a little giggle one time, and then you're just so annoying. Stop doing it. I don't know. I don't care about this dude at all. And this one just really worries me because it's nostalgia for a thing that didn't even exist. But Channing Tatum isn't old and established that he has decided that he's not going to be fat Channing Tatum anymore, much to Nico's absolute misery. So this means we might have to deal with this dude doing this forever. And he's not, it was funny, but I would like a real person to play a real Gambit in a real X-Men movie. I don't want the hypothetical Gambit that could have been to show up and play it for laughs one more time.
I really, really, really wish I could side with Tori's boo, let my man live.
But that's let my mom live, and I was like, why are you coming for Tori's
I wanted to support the idea of Channing Tatum playing him. He's not anything that is authentic to this character, specifically that voice.
Yeah,
like it is genuinely a joke.
Yeah,
if he
and it was super funny in the movie.
Cliff Bilderbaugh.
Wow, work on it more, pal. I'm sorry because it came across as a joke and a funny one, a fine one, but it was a lot, and I can't sit through that for an entire movie.
Oh,
and it's uncomfortable to expect people to. So is he just going to be Channing Tatum? No accent.
No, he'll do the accent. About that. It'll be stupid.
He really can't, and I'm not arguing with him. I'm saying he really can't. So if he does, it'll just really not be good.
We'll just suck to watch it. Yeah.
Maybe he'll work with a dialect coach this time. It won't be enough.
No, because Marvel will tell him it was so funny and he doesn't need to. You can go.
So everybody do their Gambit grade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This goes in the same, like, you know, B.
We don't know what we're getting here. Sure, he could be great.
It could be the one from First Steps. It could be someone else.
Yeah, it could be a different guy. Who knows? And if it's the guy from First Steps, we might hate that guy, or we might love him, and he's playing somebody else in Doomsday, and then we're gonna hate the other guy. We have no idea. Pedro Pascal is very hot. At this point, is it queer baiting? Like, kinda, maybe. I don't know. I wish him well.
I bet he fucks aliens. So I think he fucks aliens. So
yeah, I think you're right too. That's why it's not any of our business. It's just like, I don't know. And again, this is one of those things where it's like I can't really even blame him. I just have to blame people on the internet. Like, just stop talking about it.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Fucking F-.
If I can give you why this has to be an S, is because you tell me in your lifetime one casting for an, at the time, 20-month away movie that generated front page headlines for a guy wearing a head-to-toe single color outfit. I'm sorry, you can't. There is nothing that was as low energy every headline. And we're not talking about what is the best thing that ever happened in a movie. We're talking about what is the thing that caused the most excitement. And for you, it could be a D. I am not coming for you. You are a beautiful, brilliant man, and your thoughts are completely respectable. But I feel like there is a cultural significance to the series finale of MASH. It doesn't matter that at the end of the day, the people who watched it either watched the comedy it started as, the drama it ended as, or were people who served that didn't understand what PTSD was. But they watched. I personally served in the MCU army, and I have RDJ PTSD for DD. And I am here for his verdigris. S.
You want to go, Kevo?
You don't want to compliment sandwich this?
No, I don't. I want to end on a bad note.
No, not for this broadcast. Not for when we're hoping does well. No.
Please, if they've made it 2 hours and 15 minutes in, they're sticking. I'm never We should do one of these where it's like, was this a good business decision? We should rank the business decisions. Nico, you are 100% right. This was foundering on things like, Jonathan Majors being a disgusting person, that meaning that they can't use Kang, who was not great to start with, who wasn't doing great to start with, wanting things like the X-Men sooner, and just there's a lot of stuff going on, and Marvel was sort of treading water, spinning their wheels, whatever metaphor you want to use, and man, did they generate some fucking hype calling in RDJ. You're 100% right about that. And if we want to rank business decisions, top tier, I would absolutely say S. If we are ranking decisions that make TK want to go see the movie, not thinking even a little bit outside the box or risk taking in any way, calling in the last directors that were successful, to take the last actor that was successful, to do a rehash of whatever energy they think brought people to the movies and brought people excitement, pandering to the lowest common denominator. I want better for everybody involved. I know I'm going off. I apologize. I love Robert Downey Jr. I love Tony Stark. I love Larry Paul. Watch Ally McBeal, you fucks. There's so much to love, but the idea of casting Robert Downey Jr. to play Doctor Doom in a movie by the Russo brothers is just such a D decision to me. It is just so lacking in spine, creativity, anything interesting. It just couldn't be safer or more. I don't know. I just boo.
I am going to literally throw a ghost trap like I'm Ray Stantz and trap your weird fucking ectoplasmic ass.
Why can it be a Pokeball at least?
No, because you're a ghoul.
Okay.
Nice.
But no, here's what I will say. I am the world's most positive fan. I'm actually not, but
you're really not. I'm being absurdly negative.
But what I will say that like you're actually not. You're being, what I will say is a negative based in realism. I saw a lot of people just put in that big chat, boring, shit face, dumb, no tits. And I'm like,
I mean, honestly, I don't think it's boring. I think there's a lot of ways in which you can write a really cool story. I'm excited to see why he looks like Tony Stark. And, they're saying it's going to be a big thing that he knows that, and he's going to use that to fuck with the Avengers. This isn't boring. This doesn't have to be boring at all. And again, giving it a D, I might be like, man, my expectations, really, it is an F to me. This is a complete fail. This is such a terrible idea. So if this man doesn't shit his pants in a Doctor Doom outfit, it's going to bump up to a C immediately for me. So like this really, my expectations could not possibly be lower. I think this is absolutely the worst idea. But it isn't boring. I mean, like it's KEVO, say something.
I mean, among other things, I feel like the worst idea would be boring. I would rather something that is wild, that I don't necessarily agree with, that I'm entertained by, than something that I'm flat out bored by, I guess.
Yeah.
Gosh, I just, it's the
What's your grade
on, well, and the thing is, it is tough because you do bring up a lot of really fair and fine points. But the fact of the matter is, Robert Downey Jr. doesn't need this money. He doesn't need to be part of this. And yet he very well may have been the person putting down all those chairs. He walked down that entire line of chairs to come sit down in the last one and turn around and go shush. And
I actually think legally he can't have put down the chairs, but yeah, I
agree. Probably not. But
he still showed up.
He might have insisted on doing it anyway because he's a nut. He's a nut, and he does what he wants, and he wanted to do this, and he's excited by this, and he's invested in this. And that has me intrigued. I'm looking at all of the points, and specifically where there are so many good stories that could come out of this. There's bad ones. We've pointed to a lot of clunkers and moments that we think we are inevitably going to get, like probably Chris Evans coming back as an old man Cap, even if not our own, and getting in one final punch. Please God. But, no. Please God, no. Please don't do all of the obvious things. Please don't make this horrendous. Like we said earlier, when we were concerned about Michael Waldron coming in and undoing everything that we loved about Loki after he left, please let this be good. Please let this be everyone playing nice in the sandbox and wanting to make something fun. Because this is such a huge thing. I would like to hope that if anything is an indication for what we can hope for from these films, it's No Way Home, when we all kind of knew Toby and Andrew were in it. We didn't know what it was going to be. We didn't know how it was going to unfold. Are there flaws to it? Of course. But it was such a fun ride. We got exciting things that we weren't expecting necessarily, like Charlie Cox. It laid groundwork for interesting things that we are now still seeing unfold. Like I said, we are going to be entering the third decade of the MCU after these films. Tori brought up the baby Avengers that we are going to hopefully start seeing stuff from, if not in these movies, soon after. So I am hopeful and optimistic for the future of the MCU. I don't want to give this an S, especially because I just don't like Doom. I don't love Doom in the first place. He might make me love Doom, though. So I'm at least going to give it an A insofar as, when has Robert Downey Jr. led me wrong? He did give us, what's my Christmas movie? The Christmas Mr. Magoo, Mr. Willoughby's Christmas Tree. That's what it is, with Stockard Channing and Leslie Nielsen. So yeah, let's go with A.
I love it. I've had such a great time doing this tonight. I can't wait to talk more about this and all of these reveals. These have been so exciting. We're going to talk about this and so much more. And until we come back, Kevo, I know we've got Hush 2 this week. We've got some Grey's Anatomy coverage this week. Of course, we're going to do some Drag Race. Where can everybody find you until we come back?
You can find me on the socials at Kevo Really. That's KEVOREALLY.
Oh, amazing. And TK, of course, every one of those places I just said, you're going to be there as well with your bright, shining face. And, we made some jokes, but your ideas are certainly not unwelcome and they're not unwarranted. They are necessary criticisms.
I'm a nasty little goblin monster.
Well, you can be.
You all got to deal with that.
You can be, but we all can be. And you were pointing out some necessary contrasts to positivity, which doesn't mean that you were being exclusively negative, but you were pointing out contrasts. And if everybody wants to be part of that negative, angry, brutal mob,
realism.
I'm kidding. If everybody wants to come find out more about a person who has some really cool counterculture ideas, where can they find you?
If you want to chug on the haterade with me, you just get on Blue Sky and look for TK Accidental. I keep saying I'm going to quit Instagram, but I'm still there. So, while you can. Nico, where can everybody find you?
Guys, I don't want to spoil it, but I'm the 28th chair. You guys can find me in Doomsday! I'm kidding. You guys can check me out at NICO Action, NICOACTION, NICO Action Music, NICOACTIONMUSIC. You guys can, of course, check me out all over these channels. That's X is for podcast, X is for show, HTML, that's Husbands Talking More or Less. I can't wait. We're going to talk about some comics this week, Grey's Anatomy, like I said, Drag Race, and more. You guys can, of course, check us out at AwesomeCon 2025. FlameCon 2025. We've got some amazing surprises coming your way. I love these guys for putting this episode together in no time flat. It was just unbelievable. I mean, it was Deborah Messing flat. Unbelievable. So big fan.
Great.
Anyway, 3 things: like, comment, and subscribe, because we think you're fantastic and we want to be able to dox you. But then 3 things you guys can do for yourselves. Number 1, please stay safe. Number 2, evolve daily. And number 3, Wait, no, be brave. Yeah, because who you were yesterday, amazing. Who you are today and who you are tomorrow, amazing. It's so late. You guys can hear it in my voice. I'm so tired. Have a great night.